All right, so ignore the chair, it's loud. We're going to talk real quick. I try to keep politicalized stuff off my channel as much as I can because I don't really want to make that be what it's about. But this one I've got to bring up because it's pretty blatant, and I've been trying to work out in my head the reasoning behind it from a theological level, and I figured I'd share my thoughts because I'm sure other people have too. And that is this past Saturday, right? I was reading, I was scrolling through my Facebook, just sitting around, and I saw this thing that I was sure had to be like a Babylon Bee type fake article. So I clicked on it, and then I went to whitehouse.gov and verified that it was in fact a true release. And what it was is that Joe Biden had declared this past Sunday as the National Transgender Day of Visibility. Now, unbeknownst, maybe Joe didn't realize, but there is another holiday that was celebrated this past Sunday. And now it's a little known, barely celebrated thing. Only a few people really know about it. What was it called? Easter, that's right. Yeah, this past Sunday was Easter, and he decided to declare that day as the National Day of Transgender Visibility or whatever it was. Now, if you don't get why that would annoy people of a certain faith, if you don't get why, even if you don't believe in that faith, it's kind of messed up, then your brain is so screwed up and brainwashed by whatever you've done in your life that you're not going to get the point of the rest of this video. So please go ahead and just stop, click over to the next one, do something else, because you're not going to get it, and you're just going to be wasting your time and my breath. So now we've gotten rid of the people who don't realize why that's a problem. Easter is a fairly sacred day for the Christian, right? It's the day we celebrate the resurrection, which is, theologically speaking, kind of the crux of the religion. Without the resurrection, we have no hope. Without the resurrection, we have no forgiveness. Without the resurrection, we have no eternal life. Without the resurrection, all of our preaching, all of our works, all of our everything that we have in the Christian faith is in vain. That's Paul, all right? So it's important, right? Now, another theological truth that we know is that God is sovereign. God is in control. Nothing happens without God's, at the very least, allowance, right? He doesn't necessarily cause everything. That's where people get messed up. They say, well, how can God cause this bad thing to happen? Well, he doesn't. He gave us, as humans, free will, and we screwed it up. So, pretty much all the bad things that happen is a matter of us having screwed up creation, and it's the result. So God doesn't cause cancer. Does he allow it? Yes. God doesn't cause all the horrible things that we see. He does allow them. And he does use them for his purposes. So on that point, on that front, on that train of thought, I was going, okay, why did God, who's in control, let Joe Biden, who's not even in control of his own brain half the time, take Easter Sunday and turn it into Transgender Day of Visibility, which is like the anti-Easter almost, right? Why would God let that happen? Why would God allow that? It's a valid question. It's one I've been kind of struggling with after I got done being annoyed at the whole thing in the first place. So here are my thoughts on that. I'm going to try to wrap this up pretty quick because I don't want to ramble on for too long about it. Here's my thoughts. The only thing I can think of, this is all I got. So if I'm wrong, then I'm wrong. But here's my thought process that I went on. The only reason I can come up with as to why God would let Easter be turned into Transgender Day of Visibility is one of two things. One, punishment for the American church, right? Maybe he says, y'all are not doing what I want. I'm going to take Easter away. or I'm going to screw up Easter for the year. Whatever, how, um, maybe that's it. The other option I can come up with is that maybe the American church has taken the holy day of Easter. That's a holiday that's been celebrated for, a while, a lot longer than the Transgender Day of Visibility, by the way, which someone informed me has been around for years. So it's not really new. Okay, I don't know if that's true or not. I don't really keep track of that sort of thing. But let's say it's been around for 100 years, which it hasn't. Easter's still been around a whole lot longer. So if one of them is taking the other's place or interfering with the other, it's certainly not Easter, right? But let's say that maybe the Christian Church of America has taken the holy day of Easter and turned it into an idol, which can happen. We as Christians are prone to making idols out of things. It's this human nature. We make idols out of the church in general. Catholics, I'm looking at you there. The Pope. Our way of doing things. If it's not my way, it's not right. That's idolatry. Whatever it may be, we're prone to making idols. I mean, go back to the Old Testament, and they had God with them in the fire and the clouds, walking through the wilderness, and they still made idols out of cows because Moses left for a little while, right? So it's our nature, get that? But maybe we've turned Easter into an idol, and because of that fact, God said, "All right, I'm going to let this happen." That's all I got. I don't know if it's true, because I'm not God, and my puny little brain can't figure him out most of the time. But that's the things I've come up with, the two thought processes I've had as to how or why this happened. What's going to come out of it? Ultimately, I don't know. But I do know that God's in control, God's sovereign, and he works all things for the good of those who follow him and are called according to his purpose. So, there's a reason, and ultimately it's for God's greater good and our greater good. So, feel free to comment down below if you've got some other thought processes going on, or if you just, disagree with me, whatever.